people, and welcome back to the channel. You know the man, Coach Mike James. You know the brand P&Z Life Coaching, and I'm back again with another dope episode of Black Business Booming. Listen, this is a special episode right here. This is episode 50, and this is something I've been waiting on. I guess when we get to them. But listen, real quick before we start. Everybody, I want you to take just a second. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, turn on notifications so you get all my notifications for my dope motivational videos, Black Business Booming, impactful conversations, all the dope content that I'm going to bring you. And as I always say, it's another one, a dope interview. I can't wait to do this. My bro, man, I'm going to get into it, but this is one that we've done already live on the Convoz app, but we had to redo this and make it special, man, because the recording and everything, we had some technical difficulties, so we didn't bring it to YouTube, but we're back with it. So, bro, listen, man, I appreciate you. People have heard me say often now, my Convoz fam. Man, almost at least 15 now Black Business Booming interviews out of the 50 has been Convoz fam, man. So it's just a dope situation that we have going on there, man. The network about nothing. Shout out to all the fam there. And so, bro, without further ado, man, take a moment, introduce yourself, tell everybody your name, a little background, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Mercury Hall. First, I'd like to say thank you, Coach Mike. I appreciate you for always coming through, part of the Convoz fam. Nobody does it better. Mike who? Mike James.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So with that said, I do know Mike from the Convoz fam. My name is Mercury Hall. I'm the founder of Mercury Universe, which is an online tool that allows individuals to promote themselves and their brands. I create 3D avatars in the likeness of my users and just allow them to enjoy the metaverse, promote themselves and their brand via the metaverse. And we work with all of our customers just to make it happen. It didn't start out like that. It started out Mercury Universe being an online recruiting tool that allowed athletes to, promote themselves and their likeness and able to get to the next level. And so that's junior high individuals trying to get to high school guys or ladies, young ladies trying to get to college, and then from college beyond. So we would create press kits, video footage, videos of individuals and their athletic careers to just try to get them to the next level. So that's pretty much a short intro. We can take it as slow or as fast as you would like. Just let me know what's going on.
Yeah, man, listen, first of all, it's just dope. And I think for people, we're definitely, as I always do, we're going to have all your information, bro, in the description below so y'all can see it, because you hear that, right? And you hear the metaverse and your image and like, okay, what? But when you see the concept come to life, I know for me, man, it's simple. It's simple. Before you experience Mercury Universe, right? You're out here in these streets and we don't want you to get murked. But after you experience it, after you see it, after you see yourself come to life in an image that just represents you and what you're all about, then you just got murked, baby. So I love it, man. I love it.
The last thing you want to do is get murked out in them streets. So don't let it happen.
Want to get murked in these streets, people. Don't let it happen to you. So Merc, man, I want to go back, like, when did you start? Because you mentioned like it didn't start like this, right? It didn't start where it is now. But when did you start it, and what inspired you to do so?
Sure. Well, it started quite a ways back. I'm from a small town, Waco, Texas, right? So I played a lot of sports just in order to be able to get out of the city, because not many people, if any, that I knew had ever gotten out of Waco. So most people are still there. And I played sports. I played sports because, number one, I loved it. But then at a point at around 13, I realized that I could get a scholarship playing a sport or being academically inclined, and a school would pay for me to go to the next level. And once I heard that at about 13, like all my hopes and desires were focused towards getting that scholarship and seeing if it was real, right? Because I had
Mm.
never seen anybody get out of Waco, I'm like, bro, that's a pipe dream you telling me. Like, who does that really happen? People give you free money to go learn all you can learn. So if you want to get a job, you can get a job. If you want to be an actor, you can be an actor. If you want to be a ball player, you could be a ball player. That type of stuff just doesn't happen, especially to anybody that I know. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it on television, but come on, let's be
Right.
real. Um, the young man who was actually a cousin of my cousins, no relation, but he was in the military, came home on Christmas. He explained to me that, yeah, man, like you don't have to be here forever. Like I was like, why have I never seen you? He was like, I'm in the military. Like I'm gone all the time. And I'm like, the military, like what, So after a while, he explained to me, yeah, it's not just the military. Like you can get scholarships in college. You can get scholarships to college to get you out of here or whatever your situation is. And I was like, that sounds great. I'm like, you sure, right? And he was like, yeah, all you have to do is be really good at a sport or academics, and a school, will notice you. And if not, you can reach out to the school. And if they're interested and they have scholarships available, you can get them free of charge just by being good at what you do. And I was like, I'm good at everything. So I had to I was like, I'm good at baseball, basketball, football. I make straight A's. I'm like, I'm good at track. And he was like, well, if you get the attention of a school, you can get scholarships in any or all of those. And I was like, bet, let's see how this works.
Yeah.
So at that point, then began my mission to see if it worked. I began, excelling, working out a little bit harder, getting to, we didn't have combines or camps at that time, because I came out of high school in '94. Don't mean to, age myself, but
Right.
so in '94 we didn't have all the technology that we have now. So, sending a VHS to a school was probably the best that I could do at that time, which is what I did. So I made very good grades. I made straight A's pretty much throughout school. And then by my junior year, I had made varsity, my freshman year, I made varsity in basketball, varsity in baseball, and I was on our varsity track team. So I didn't have anything in football, but, I was nice and I was undefeated from my standpoint as a quarterback. But I was, like I said, only on a freshman team. So at that point, I was off to a pretty good start. Grades were good. And then, as time went on, I continued to excel, continued to get in the paper. So I was highly recruited, but not until like the end of my junior year. So I began to panic a little bit. I'm like, I'm not getting any offers. Like, how does it work? Like, he didn't tell me step by step how it worked. He just said it was possible.
Right.
So I'm like, do I reach out to them or do they come to you first? And how does that whole thing happen? And then doing a little bit more research, I found out that no, they would just start sending you letters in the mail. You would just get a letter and you'll get offers and you'll get, visits and recruiters speaking to you via email or via, normal mail. And so that didn't happen. I began to panic a little bit, but by the end of my junior year, everything started to roll around. I started getting football offers. I started getting basketball letters. Some baseball letters were coming in, and then track. Some schools wanted to split the scholarship between track and football. Well, like Miami, the University of Miami wanted that specifically, I guess, because of their scholarship situation.
Yeah.
So once I saw all that, I was like, oh, okay, this is it. This is it. End up choosing a school, choosing SMU, went there, got a couple of degrees, and just kept that knowledge in the back of my head. Because I had a scholarship, it was no need for me to send out the tapes, right? Because I had what I was seeking. I had the scholarship, so I didn't have to go through with the plan. But in football, I got recruited all over in different sports, but I chose football because the agreement that I thought I had with God was that only send me to only send me to a sport that I will go pro in. Otherwise, I will choose another sport myself. And so all things led to SMU, went to SMU playing football, on the understanding that they would get a baseball program and that they would also let me double as a basketball and football player. And I chose that school. In addition to, they had a 95% graduation rate for student athletes, which was good for me in case I didn't go pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, went there, ended up getting, couple degrees, and yeah, it didn't work out to where I went to the league, to the NFL. But I did get my degrees, and I ended up working for a very big bank, corporate company at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
man, you literally looked at your journey, and like you said, you had a scholarship, so you didn't have to get in there and send out the film and all that stuff. And you looked at your journey and like looked in there and said, okay, what's missing? And what do I want to do for young athletes? That void that's going to take them really, man, I mean, in creating that like to the next level, but foreseeing what was coming, right? Because you were kind of ahead, still are. Mercury Universe is still ahead of the curve in
I
terms
like
of
to think so.
how things are going. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
So as you think to carrying it forward, the education that you had, and so when did you start the business? When did you start the business? Like what time or what year was that when you started?
The business was right around 2000, right? Because coming out of college, I had an agent. And so I was trying to get to the league, working out every day. I did a few things here and there. Was actually an extra and a stunt double for Any Given Sunday.
I have to tell y'all about the time in October where LL tricked your boy on the set of Any Given Sunday. There it is. That's the scene.
So that worked out because I was still trying to be an actor as well. So I had a lot of things on the table, but most of all, I wanted to make it to the NFL. That's what I was playing ball for. But at 2000, I graduated in 99. I graduated in 98 and then again in 99 with my second major. But during that time, I was training and working out. And once I realized in 99, I didn't get drafted and I wasn't invited to any team workouts. Actually, I was invited to one team workout. I got a call from the guy who recruited me for SMU. He was the quarterback coach for Kansas City at the time. And so he was like, if you can get down here, like we got a spot for you, you try out for the team and then we'll take it from there. If you make the team, it's easy breezy. If not, then, we'll see after that. I was so unfamiliar with how the things worked or whatever. I just passed up the offer and, continued to work on at the bank. So, but during that time, trying to get to the league, I was creating the VHSs that we were talking about. I was creating the tapes and sending those out to the teams and making my videos and highlights of my career so that they could see just how dynamic I was and what they were missing if they didn't choose me. And then I was dishing those things out, mailing those guys out, and talking to teams. So teams were calling, I was talking to them and they were letting me know if I could get a workout or not. And it just didn't work out. But all of those tools that I had used from trying to get to college, those are still there and those are still relevant with trying to get to the pros.
Yeah.
And I used everything that I could that I knew of personally to get me to the next level, and the little connections I did have and trying to utilize my agent to get me to wherever I could land, which didn't actually end up happening. And so I went into corporate America and then started to help out other individuals because there were guys that I was still working with that played ball with me or that were coming up that I knew were awesome. And I was like, well, I can still help this individual. Let me just put them together a mixtape or a video press kit, what have you. And so we were sending those out, whether they be the NFL teams, NBA teams, or overseas. So work with a couple of basketball guys, got them overseas in some leagues, and they were like, "Man, this is great. I didn't know about this. I was just gonna give up." And I'm like, "No, never give up if you can, especially if you have somebody in your corner willing to work with you or
Yeah,
for you.
that's it for sure.
Utilize that." And so that helped me realize, hey, this dream is real. It didn't happen for me, but I can help other people get to their dreams if they start early enough, right? Because it's all, getting in the door when the door is open, when you have the opportunity. And a lot of people have been able to get through the door just because of the video and the footage and them being seen. So it definitely works. And
Yeah.
we were doing that with DVDs at the time, right? So we transitioned from VHSs to the DVDs. Once DVDs were, you could, download your information on the DVD, send those out. But now it's digital, so everything's digital. We moved there, and then it transitioned into something different because now avatars and digital avatars and digital emojis are popular, and so we have to utilize whatever we have available.
I got you, Hooks.
Man, that's so dope, man. Like, in in business, one of the things is, you could be efficient, but you also want to be sustainable. And part of that is being able to change with the time and be able to progress and make those pivots, right? Something we talked about on
Absolutely.
Convoz. You got to be able to
Absolutely.
make those pivots when things happen. And that just shows one thing you already said is that education and taking that forward and all your skills, your knowledge, and putting it together to make sure that your business can pivot. So if you think back to like when you started 2000 and even in that VHS to DVD age, like starting out, what was
Heavy.
one of the biggest challenge or what was some of the challenges for you in starting your business?
Ooh. First of all, just knowing that I needed to start a business because I was just doing it. They were kind of like bootlegs, like a rapper or an artist would sell
Yeah.
mixtapes out of their cars, right? So now it's word of mouth. So it's who are you and why are you?
So
What
Merc,
is
you
this
telling me
process?
so Merc, you telling me you were one of the original bootleg men, bro.
Basically,
Bootlegger coming to barbershop, hey man,
already,
ain't got
basically,
I
basically,
love it.
and it worked. It works though, So if you have a good method, don't if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I just
Yeah,
utilized that method, and people word of mouth heard of what I was doing, and I'm like, yeah. So just give me your footage. I'll chop it up, mix it up. We'll put it on this DVD. I'll make you some covers because at the time I was able to make DVD covers with their images and their likeness, so it looked like a real DVD or Blu-ray. And then we would just send those copies uh, to colleges or NFL or NBA teams and get the kid a look.
man.
And we did it like that until things begin to stream, and then of course you just upgrade with the media.
Yeah. That's man,
Yeah,
that's awesome. That again, being able to pivot and make those changes and progress and keep, like we said earlier, keep your business man at the forefront and moving forward and seeing where things are going. That's awesome. So now in running your business, what are some of the day-to-day challenges? What are some of the daily challenges you face in your business?
um there's some of the same things, right? I don't know if I actually addressed the last question. I guess um getting your name out there and letting people know you are there and you solve this problem. I guess that will be the challenge, and that's still the
Mm,
challenge today, right? Because we pivoted. So we're still helping athletes, and people are saying, "Oh, you're a recruiting company that helps athletes." Like, yes, but now that we've added the digital piece with the 3D avatars, well, now the world is bigger, right? So not only are we trying to help athletes with this portion of it, but then we also have the digital side, which can help athletes in the same way. And we can morph your athlete into a digital representation, allow you to speak fluently, allow you to speak in an interview type form, and then also be able to show your video in the background or mix and match however you want, depending on what your end user wants to see in order to present themselves to the employer or whoever they're trying to get to, whatever team they're trying to get to. But also like just word of mouth, but also just being able to promote yourself on all ends with everything that you have on the table. Like we also do digital representation, right? So now we can customize your Merc emoji to do what you want and to brand how you want to be branded and to put yourself out into the metaverse, social media, or you could just use them for regular text and email messages, right? So it's your digital form and it represents you. So I have my, Coach Mike, my PNZ uniform on.
Yes,
so
sir.
I can represent this. My digital avatar can go into the metaverse and I can represent this. I can switch clothes. I can switch hats. I can switch my shirt with your shirt, in an instant. Pants, shoes. So if you're branding and you have your line is CEO, then we can make your hat CEO. If your PNZ is here, we can flip your shirt on. If you need your shirt to be white, we make your shirt white. If you need your shorts, if you need your tennis shoes, we can put those on you so that you feel comfortable with how your Merc emoji is representing you out in the digital world. And that is something that is pretty difficult to explain to people if they've never seen it before, and trying to get them to understand exactly what you can do for them seems like a pipe dream.
What's up, beautiful people? Listen up. I want you to make sure that you are connecting with me on the Convoz app every Monday. I know some people don't like Mondays, but I love Mondays. Why? Because you get a chance to set the foundation on which you want to build your week. You get a chance to set the pace on how you want your week to go. So let's do it. Convoz app every Monday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's go. I'll see you there. Peace. Together, not apart. Y'all.
It seems far-fetched, like you're trying to send them to the land of Oz or something. Like they just can't grasp it unless they see it, like you were speaking about earlier.
Yeah, I say to that. Look, bro, I'm telling you, it was months, right? It was months that even our shared show that we had on Convoz, it was months. I heard you talking about, I'm like, I'm visualizing what I thought. And I'm like, okay, this is a dope concept, right? This is dope. But when I saw it, and like you said just there, it's you think you have this visual concept in your mind of what you think Merc is talking about, but when you see it, it's like, oh, I gotta get. And what happens? That's normally a lot of people's response, like, oh, I gotta get me one of those, because ain't nobody out here trying to get Merc, bro. So I think with the Merc emoji, I think that's what's so awesome about it, and seeing the process of what you've done, even for me as a very satisfied and happy, joyful customer, elated. What you talked about right there, man, that support and just being able to be in any atmosphere, any surroundings, any environment, whether it's my YouTube. What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy, Coach Mike James. Listen, I'm on a mission to share my light, love, and positivity with as many people as I can in the time and space that I have. So connect with me. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Coach Mike James. I look forward to seeing you there. Peace. Together, not apart. Y'all take care. What's up, beautiful people? Woo! Yeah. Here we go. Murphy's Law. You are somebody. Today you are great. Tomorrow you'll be greater because Miss Murphy said so, and I concur. My 3 W's. Note that the universe is aligned to give you what you want, will, and work for in that order. My 5 P's, baby. Let your power give you a passion that will pin you to your purpose. And once you plan properly, experience prosperity. That is spiritually, mentally, socially, physically, and financially. Know that you can fall into grace. Why? Why can you do that? Because you are the 5 C's, baby. You are capable, competent, confident, conscious, and courageous to do any and everything that you seek to do in this life and the next. So get up, get out, get something, people. As always, you already know that God loves you, so do I. And I want you to love life, live love, peace, together, not apart. Y'all take care. My videos and pulling that and being able to just show up as yourself, like you say, to represent, man, I think that's amazing. And
right, because it's you, right? Like it's nothing different.
You.
It's actually you. Your YouTube. I believe on yours we had your YouTube channel telling people where to go in order to get Mike James, in order to be with Mike James consistently, and to be able to find you if they weren't there. Find your podcast, find your YouTube, find your everything Mike James, your apparel. So, while we're here, how was the experience for you? Like, what was the process like for you?
Yeah, so going into it, man, I think one of the biggest things is what we talked about already, right? You don't know until you see it. And then when you see it, it's like, okay, yeah, got to do that. But you still have these questions in your mind. Okay, how is this going to happen? What is this process to make me a 3D avatar? And, am I going to look exact like the other examples I've seen? So with the process, easy, smooth, you have your process of what pictures to send in and the drafts and everything, great communication. And so when I start seeing when you sent me the first, I think it was just like a rough edit, like this is a draft, this is what we're working on. I was thinking, man, this ain't the finished product. Like what? And the fact that it's literally what you said, it's you. So you and I are sitting here doing this interview and one of us turns into our Merc emoji, jumps off the screen and tells you about it. That right there for me was amazing. And I think the process, the timeliness, the communication and feedback, because, when you're doing certain things with a company, it's not necessarily whether it's a good or bad experience, but the customer service and the timeliness and the response a lot of times can make a bad experience better, at the very least. So I think, tapping into the Mercury universe and the Merc emoji is just the process, that the ease of the process, man, and very worth it for what you get, because, like you said, it's popular right now. Everybody wants to jump in your DM and say, hey, let me do this animated picture of you or this cartoon. Great, cool, but I'm giving you a whole 3D avatar that is you, your likeness, what you want, even how, examples of how you do it with the athletes, man. They are sitting there doing their drill and then they turn around and it's their Merc emoji coming to talk to you, telling you about what's going on behind them. So just amazing to see it, the process. So again, we're definitely going to make sure we let people find out how they can see it in fruition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It takes it to another level when you see it. It's like, whew. But yeah, man, again, just support.
And thank you again, though, for the opportunity, right? Because Black Business Booming gives me a platform to express to people who might not, I'm not everywhere to explain it all the time.
Yeah.
If they're not following Mercury Universe, they don't know Mercury Universe, where else would they hear about it? Unless they're on Convoz or, a friend of a friend or something like that. But with Black Business Booming and the network that you all have and the vast amount of reach that you have, that's the perfect platform for me to be able to just jet that thing into the stratosphere. And, I can't thank you enough for bringing me on and allowing me to be a part of this.
No doubt, man. And like I told you, I think we were on Convoz one day and I was like, bro, I got it. We got to rent it back, but it's got to be special edition. It's going to be episode 50. We're going to make it happen. So, bro, getting back to, yes, sir, the big 5-0. So thinking about just your business, and we talked about some of the challenges daily, right? So on the reverse, the flip side of that, what are the most satisfying parts of running your business and just continuing to expand the Mercury universe?
Bro, as an entrepreneur, like the satisfaction that people like you and others, like it's different to hear that you're going to be a cartoon character or avatar, but when you actually see yourself moving and talking to yourself and to other people, like that's jarring. You know, people are, it's amazing. It's amazing for you and it's amazing for me because every time it's like a new adventure. It's like a new show of your favorite character, but only you're the favorite character this time. So you get it. But imagine yourself being Spider-Man, or imagine yourself being whoever your favorite DC or Marvel character is. You can become that character. And when you see it for the first time, looking back at you, like, you know, Anthony Hardaway and Lil Penny talking to him back and forth, you're like, what's going on here? And your voice is his voice, and his voice is your voice. And now you can do anything. You can fly on top of buildings, you can shoot lightning out of your eyes, you can jump down from your page and start talking to people. Whatever you think of, you can do. You can switch outfits, you can become a video game character, people can choose you from screens. Like it's a whole nother world of amazing things. So it's like Disney World digitized and personalized for every individual who's willing to get involved. So to me, it's really like a kid in a candy shop. It's a dream come true every day. So I'm stoked every day. Every new client I get, every new user, every new project is amazing. And you will see this huge grin on my face because I know that it's going to amaze whoever looks at it.
Yeah, man, that's the perfect word, amazed, because I know when when I saw the final product, just each time what you were able to do with my Merc emoji, this is literally the look. I mean, you know, you look at it. Whoa, you know, you're taken aback, like, wow. Like, I think that was my reaction.
What is going on?
I like grabbed my heart, like, whoa, this, because again, we talked about having that concept of what you think, but then when you see it, it's like, whoa. And that's the feedback that I get. So I'm always telling people about you because I get that question every time, like, wait a minute, man, that's so cool. That's dope. How did you do that? Hey, listen.
I appreciate that.
And telling people, you know, what it's all about. So we've talked a lot about just being able to have a sustainable business that's going to change with the times, being able to pivot, being able to, you know, face those challenges, those hurdles, setbacks, whatever it may be, and customers, all this stuff, right? So, what advice, other than all the gems you've dropped from just hearing your story, what advice would you give someone watching this? Like, okay, I like these two brothers on here. They're repping their business, you know, they're CEOs of their business. What advice would you give someone who's watching? A young man, young woman, even someone who's maybe just starting out, but someone who wants to be in business or get into entrepreneurship? What's some advice you would give them?
Just believe in yourself, right? I mean, people say that and it's cliche, but it's so true. Like so many people, I told people like 10 years ago exactly what I was trying to do. And I started out trying to create an app because I'm still going to do it. But you have to find the right pieces and you have to show the concept first, right? Before people even believe in you. But until then, just think that was 10 years ago. So until then, for 10 years, people were thinking I was Geppetto or some weird mad scientist dude coming up with all these crazy theories in my head and spitting off nonsense. People were like, I would tell them 3D avatars. Yeah, you can create your own stuff. You'll be able to, you know, I'll be able to send you via text or send you via social media and you'll be able to talk to other people, but not like traditional emojis. Like you will be able to move and dance and talk in your voice to people. So they might send you a text and you can like talk, yo, I'll be there in a minute. And your Merc emoji will pop up on the screen and be like, yo, I'll be there in a minute. And they can do like signature moves like you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you Millie rock all the time, you know what I'm saying? Your character we can create the Millie rock. We can create dances. We can we can do everything. And that will be you personified. People thought I was crazy. And so imagine for 10 years, people thinking you're crazy and you still chasing this dream. It sounds like crazy. Like imagine trying to be a rapper for 5, 10, 15 years, and you have sold maybe a handful of albums, maybe 100 albums, whatever, the whole time. And people are still coming to you every day. So are you still rapping?
Yeah.
Like, you've heard the story.
Yep.
So like when it's happening to you, you're like, yeah, bro, I'm still rapping, man. Or I'm still creating this thing. Oh, so and then they're messing with you, right? Like, tell me the name again. It's a Merc emoji, right? Is it emoji? Is it emoji or Merc? What is it? It's like, yeah, it's a Merc emoji. So, yeah. So people would generally say, oh, so you mean the Animoji, right? Apple on steroids? And I'm like, exactly. When it's complete, it will be basically the Animoji on steroids. And they're like, oh, okay. I just wanted you to, to reiterate what it was that you were trying to do. My homeboy wanted to know, or such and such wanted to know. Right. But really, they're just messing with you. You've seen it. We've all seen it. We all know, sarcasm. We know the ridiculousness. But it's that type of stuff that will break a lot of people, right? If you're not like fully confident in what you can do and your dream and your vision, that will stop a lot of people. I've had a lot of investors tell me, you don't have any traction. It doesn't make sense. You think that people want what you're selling, but they don't really want it. Like, or you haven't proven that they really want it. There's no market for it. And so all of those things are true situations and they're true scenarios. It's like, you're right. I haven't proven that everybody wants it, but that doesn't mean that everybody doesn't want it. Like before the iPod or the iPhone, everybody didn't know that they wanted the iPod or the iPhone, right? Mm-hmm. They just were like, what are you? Steve Jobs was crazy at that time, so they were like, okay, yeah, like whatever. No, you'll be able to carry 1,000 songs in your pocket. And people are like, okay, bro, y'all might need to go get your boy some help.
Yeah.
Is that type of deal. But in my case, I knew, and I had studied all of those guys before me, Walt Disney, all the big guys, Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, superstars. And then, so I know what's coming. So it doesn't deter me in any way. Plus, I'm very confident in what I want to see. And I cannot stop until I see it come to fruition. So that's the main thing. Like, it keeps me up at night. Like, I'm like, maybe, because my wife was telling me, imagine your spouse who lives with you, who knows what you can do and seen it and has heard your story over and over again, telling you, okay, like there comes a time where you have to realize that if your stuff hasn't worked yet, it's probably not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the person one of the people that loves you the most, or that you love the most, and you would expect them to understand what is this you're trying to do. But the way that they view it, and it's perfectly understandable, it happens to most people, is you're taking food out of your family's mouth, chasing this wild, crazy fantasy dream of yours, and it's hurting people. Like, you're hurting your family instead of focusing on your job and getting to the top of the ladder for the man. I have no other word for it. It's just the man at this point. But instead of working for the man and putting all your effort into getting to the highest level, that VP, that, director, or possibly CEO or whatever, don't worry about your vision. Worry about getting to the level of the corporate career that you're already in. And so that's the most difficult part. That's the most challenging part. And that's the part that you really need to understand who you are and believe in yourself, to not be swayed out of losing your dream or just letting your dream go. And that, to me, is the most difficult in this thing.
Man, look, I love that, man. And That right there is that's sound, foundational, solid advice right there. Is believe. Like if you don't believe in yourself, you
It's
don't hype
necessary.
yourself up, you don't feed into your dream. How would you? I'm not going to say who else will, but I'm going to say how would you and how can you expect anybody else to? And
Very
so
difficult.
that's
Very
the thing,
difficult.
man. You do it so you can let people know when you do succeed that hey, you just got murked. And then you got to know in the back of your mind that you are what? Capable, competent, confident, conscious, and courageous. Like that right there, that fired me up just hearing you say that because when
Message.
you
That's the message, people.
message, yes.
That's the
When you
message. And
started,
be courageous. It's necessary to be so courageous because people don't understand. And they don't mean to hurt you. They're just telling you what they think is
that
best
part.
for you. And a lot
Yeah,
of times, it might be solid advice. But if you are like me and you cannot be swayed, I cannot be swayed. I can't
yeah,
be swayed.
man, I love
I've
it.
lost a lot of relationships just following through with what I believe. And to me, it's totally worth it. At the end of the day, I'm totally satisfied. And especially when you validate it, when you're like Merc, like when I saw my Merc emoji, I was amazed. And
Yeah.
in my mind, it's like, indeed, that is that is the that's the message. That's the whole thing right there. And if everybody gives it a chance and don't try to break it down, they too will be amazed. It's just a matter of time before everybody is amazed. Because the end goal is for everybody who has access to a digital platform to have a Merc emoji. By the end all, it's a Merc emoji for everybody, you know, and to be able to customize over a lifetime. So it's like the perfect product, right? You can advertise yourself, your name, image, and likeness. So that comes with branding, athletes like myself. And that's why I don't give up. I've been an athlete my entire life. Most athletes think like me.
Yeah.
They push until eventually they win. So we will never give up, like a bunch of gladiators and Amazons. So if you think about that and think about how many of them they alone can sustain me in my business. Athletes
Hmm.
alone. But it's not
There you
just
go.
we don't even have to focus on athletes because and I'm sure you were an athlete as well, the same.
Yep.
So your business carries you have that attitude. But now
Hmm.
guess what? Our athletes are now transitioning in the entrepreneurial games into business owners, into name, image, and likenesses. So now we can catch us, the younger versions of us, at like 10, like 8, 10 years old. And then when we had no avenues then, you know, I was raised by a single mom, right? My mom had me when she was 15. So that's a single mom, little black kid, small town, very little resources. So for
Hmm.
me to make it it really is. It's a miracle just for people like me to be able to get out of the situations that we're in. So for me to excel and then to reach back and try to help every kid like me, which is the majority of our culture, amazing. Because now we can put food and money in all of those kids' pockets just by a digital representation of themselves that can brand their likeness. If they have great ideas like we did when we were younger, they can start Black
Hmm.
business booming at 10, 11, 12. And now that's income for them and their family throughout. And now we can do that. We can replicate that over and over, right? Everybody has access to a mobile phone or computer. Even if they don't have one, they have access to it. That's all you need to create your digital representation of yourself. And now guess what? Now it's transitioning over to NFTs and crypto. Boom. So they're
Hmm.
getting money. It's almost like you would be fighting yourself if you didn't join the wave to get this money, because now you're creating your own avenue. You have your own merch, shirts, sweats, warm-ups. If you can find a connect to build shoes and wherever you would get shoes built, you can put
Yeah.
those on your Merc emoji, create an NFT of it, throw it out there, get your money back. I mean, it's the possibilities are limitless, real, like honestly. And so
Yeah.
if you could just take that and then run forward with it, I almost don't have to say anything else, because everybody can take what little piece they heard and just run with that, and you can make a living off of that.
Man, I love it. And you talked about culture, man, and this is the point where that's the perfect alley-oop. This is a point in every interview. There's a point where I say, I don't need or care about anyone telling me what Black people are or are not doing, because I know what my circle, my web is doing. If you feel that, oh, this and that and all the stereotypes or whatever, that means you're in the wrong web, the wrong circle. I always say is that web, because we're intertwined in so many facets. Sometimes that circle you may never connect, but that web, man, is all connected. I love it, Merc. So, bro, what's next for you? Spoke a little bit into it, but what's next for the Mercury universe, man? What's next, and what are some of the things you want to leave the people with?
Man, now we're working on the meta closet, right?
With the Merc Meta Closet, you can do things that you've never been able to do before. For instance, if you wanted to switch from your home uniform to your away uniform, it's as easy as that. Or you could just change sports entirely. It's basketball season, right? What type of gear you got in your closet? Fly threads? Nice kicks? Woo! It's go time, baby. Don't get murked.
So it's like a combination of getting deeper off into the metaverse, right? So now we're talking NFT talk. We talking NFT talk. You know, we're talking Merc Meta Closet. You know what I'm saying? Where you can go and purchase your clothes or sell your brand via the closet, you know, because it works both ways. But everything that you have in your collection now, right? So it's in your closet, and it's just a digital representation of whatever your real closet would be like, right? You know, I have a standard format that lets you know, hey, this is what the standard format looks like. You know, I'm a big Marvel guy, so it has a Iron Man cerebro type of feel to it, because that's what I like.
Yeah.
And that represents my current Mercmoji, and all of its variations, all of its, you know what I'm saying, doppelgangers, if you will, you know, but everything goes in there and we can switch them up. So your shoes, your sneaker collection, your shirts, your hats, everything that you would need and that you have purchased over time, that's stored in your meta closet. And your meta closet also can have your QR codes, right? So now we're putting QR codes to your merch. So if you have a website or an online business, now we're trying to make it easy for people to find you via your Mercmoji, right? So that was the whole thought process behind everything. And now that's coming to fruition. And this is not just me, right? I didn't think of all of these things. I've reached out to people that are wiser than me, who have been doing business longer than me. You know, you talk to your art collectors, your, you know, Helene Flowers, you talk to business entrepreneurs, your Cams and your Kobe Fullers, you know what I'm saying? If you're Jason Maidens, these guys are individuals who are big in the game.
This is a follow-up. As far as the metaverse goes, my company, Mercury Universe, creates 3D avatars in the likeness of my users. Do you think licensing would be a good idea?
I got part of that. So I'd say licensing avatars, it sounds like, to individuals that may want to use them in these metaverse environments. If I were trying to interpret that correctly, I'd say net is very much a very large business. I'd say because folks that are going into these metaverses, they're going to want to, one, think about how do they look, and then how are they dressed. But they're willing to do that because they're in their digital worlds as much as they're in the physical world. And then, so then those are probably going to be in the world where they're like NFTs. They're like, I have this object. It's only kind of like however many of them, and it's going to cost as much. But where I get to the next level is, and this is our evidences, like the fashion houses, like Balenciaga, Dolce, Gucci, they're dropping crazy fashion drops where items cost like thousands of dollars, but you own it and no one else does. And that's where I think there's crazy cash to be made. Whoever owns the Meta Closet or creates that, like the equivalent of like the digital Revolve or Net-a-Porter, all that, that will be a business for sure.
Your Ray J's with his earpods, his earbuds, all of these things, we're using their words and their thought process to give the people exactly what the people want and to give them exactly what they want. So it's their words personified, showing the people what the Merc'd Meta Closet is, and then taking them through what it would look like to have, you know, your high school, your college basketball uniform, football uniform, to pop up in your Meta Closet and for you to be able to just switch them out at will, you know, for your brand to be on your website, and then for you to be able to sell your merch via pictures and links in your Meta Closet when it comes across, or through your social media as we post your information and post your vids, as well as the QR codes that could pop up right next to, you know, your merch as they're seeing it when your Merc emoji is talking in the metaverse or on social media or via text. So all of these things are combining to give you an experience. If you're an artist, you have artwork, we can do the same thing, your artwork in your Meta Closet. And so now you're selling your artwork via people watching you and following you on your social media. So those drops work. Everything works. Everything you can think of works. All you need to do, share your vision with me, and I'm going to collaborate. Me and my team are going to collaborate to make your dreams come true, just like I've made my dreams come true. But starts with that belief, right? Not giving up in yourself and just, you know what I'm saying? Moving forward. So to me, that's what's next. The Meta Closet and the variations of that. Yeah, that's what we have coming, and that's what I'm excited about these days.
Man, I'm excited too, bro. I love the little spark in your eye when you think about it, because you visualize and manifest what you want to see, man. So I love that when you just think about it. Listen, Merc, bro, I appreciate you, man, for gracing Black Business Booming, the platform.
Thank you, sir.
With this 50th episode, man. I you know, it's always a pleasure when we share that space, man, and just learning more about the business and bringing that to light, and getting that story out there. I appreciate it. And of course, to everybody that's watching, be sure that you connect all the links in the bio, in the description below. Make sure that you check it out, because I'm telling you, hearing it is one thing, but when you see it come to life, man, mind blown. You will know that you just
there's nothing like it. There's nothing like seeing so many of your variants pop up in this metaverse, in your Merc Closet. You are going to be happy. I'm thrilled each time, and I know what my stuff looks like. The beauty also is another thing. I have my daughter, so she was the first, and I'm working on her NFT now to do something special with her stuff. But we have her original Merc emoji, right? So I've been creating it since she was younger and trying to like fine tune that thing. But now we have a Disney version of her. So she has her general, you know, more realistic Merc emoji, but then we have her Disney variation as if she would be a Disney princess. And now we're working with that, and it's doing some tremendous thing, and she likes it. So just think, she's a kid and she's amazing. They're going to tell you the truth. If it's garbage, they're going to tell you, I'd rather play with this or look at this. When she looks at her stuff and she sees her stuff dancing with the newest TikToks and the movements are correct, and oh man, her gritty is on, you know what I'm saying? And she's,
right.
her gritty looks like, you know what I'm saying? Like Odell Beckham's, like it's in her shots with her Disney Merc emoji looks like Steph Curry's. Like it does something. So when you see a kid light up like it's Christmas time and you're in the middle of summer, is nowhere close to Christmas, like that's when you know that it's doing something. It's doing what it's supposed to do, in my opinion, of course.
Man, yeah, I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, so can't wait for people to tap in, man. Listen, if y'all are watching this, drop a comment. Let us know what stood out to you, and then make sure if you reach out to Merc, man, Mercury Universe. Let them know that you saw this interview on Black Business Booming, and that you were intrigued and inspired to know more about it, man. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Appreciate everybody for watching another episode of Black Business Booming. And you know what it is. We'll see y'all next time on the next episode. Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you.